I'm Sarah Negus, the modern day shaman, and my work is all about deep self-knowledge, understanding who you are, what makes you who you are, understanding where your beliefs came from, and mastering your own energetic imprint. Now, I've been away, I've been on retreat, and I've also been reading the writings of Yuval Noah Harari. He's an Israeli historian, and he wrote Sapiens. And his second book, Homo Deus, is amazing. And that's a little bit of what I'm going to talk to you about today. And he has a third book too, which is 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. So that's my big up on Yuval Noah Harari, who's given me this idea today. Now, in his second book, he talks about how the humanity, up until really very recently, was based on survival. Our modern day idea of personal growth wasn't something that was afforded to people even only, 80, 100 years ago. They were based on survival because they died in wars, they died from famine, and they died through disease. Now, these three things, war, famine, and disease, are dying out. I know it doesn't seem like they are because the media, the news agencies tell us all of the time of the dreadful things that are happening all around the world. But if I could give you some statistics, I think that are only about a year old, out of the book Homo Deus, the amount of people worldwide, globally, that died last year or the year before from terrorism was 7,600. It's not very many, is it? When you think there's 7 billion people on our planet. And the amount of people that died through conflict, through war, were 120,000 people. Now, we get into bigger numbers here, but still not very many when you think about 7 billion people on the planet. And then when we come to crime, 400,000 people died through crime. Bigger number. Now listen to this. 800,000 people, that's double the amount of people that died through crime. 800,000 people committed suicide. Now that's a lot of people that are struggling with their inner world, yeah? And then another step on that. 2 million people worldwide, globally, died from the effects of diabetes. Now, a lot of the people within that number will have genetic disorder for diabetes, but there's also a huge amount that have adult onset diabetes, which is directly related to diet and sugar addiction. Now, addiction in any of its form is a distraction. It's a way to find comfort from something that is going on within you. Now, when we look at 800,000 people died by committing suicide and 2 million people globally died from the effects of diabetes, we can see, when you put them together, that the biggest threat to life on our planet at the moment is through withdrawal, disconnection, decisions to look for comfort elsewhere, out of our own selves. And that got me thinking, you know, it is said that if you surround yourself with positive people, with intelligent people, with people who are motivated, with people who you aspire to, then you're going to grow. But what happens if you are spending a lot of your time online? What about our digital age? Where imagine if instead of being surrounded by positive people, you're surrounded by digital manipulation. How are you going to counter that? How are you going to ensure as best you can that you are living from a place that you want to live in with the information that you want? So we're absolutely finding that we are being molded, connected via this digital medium, this digital platform. And I'm asking you guys today, if you're watching this or you're watching the replay, How do you find out what is good for you? How do you find out how to thrive? How do you find out who you are in amongst this jungle of competition, in amongst this, onslaught of inauthentic success, you know? And I came up with the three main things that I came up with when I was asking myself these questions over the last few weeks while I've been kind of away, is that self-knowledge, knowing who you are, knowing deeply who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you laugh, what makes you love, what triggers you, what makes you react, what inspires you, and what creates desire within you, is kind of right up there in terms of number one thing to understand about yourself. When you haven't got to survive against war, famine, or disease, what you have to survive against is the digital era. The second thing was self-mastery. So in knowing yourself, you are able to choose how you show up. You're able to choose how you behave. You're able to choose your true self rather than the person that you pretend to be. Now, I was asked by my own mentor recently, Sarah, who do you pretend to be? And I had to go away and think about it. Me? Pretend? Gosh, no. But actually, when I started to journal on it and unravel it, the question, who do you pretend to be? Well, I pretend to be the same as everyone else, often, particularly in my family. I pretend when I'm out socially to be the same as everyone else. But you know what? I'm not. I'm unique. I'm me. I'm a lot to hold. I'm fierce. You know, I have great ideas. I want things to change. I'm passionate about that. And a lot of the time, it scares people. And I pretend that I'm not that important. Sometimes I pretend that it's okay to not be heard. Sometimes I pretend that it's okay not to be seen. So when you know yourself, you can then choose to master yourself, because you can ask yourself powerful, solution-based questions. Who do you pretend to be and who do you really want to be? And every single time you come up with these questions, or you see these things playing out within you, you'll be given something new. The third tip on how to survive with our digital age is self-responsibility. So in knowing yourself fully, deeply, inside yourself, knowing where your beliefs come from, understanding how they play out in your thoughts and your behavior so that you can master yourself and choose how you behave, means that you will have full responsibility for yourself. And when you hold responsibility for all of your actions, all of your behaviors, there's no time to get resentful because you never said what you wanted to say. There's no time to be manipulated into buying something that you didn't want to buy. And there's no space in your energy for you to fall victim to another, or for you to compare yourself as less than to somebody else, or more than to somebody else. So here we go. 3 tips on how to survive in our digital age. More than that, how to thrive. Self-knowing, self-mastery, self-responsibility. Now, these 3 things are really important to me. Yeah, they're important for my clients. I see how they make a difference for my clients. And I would like to offer the same to you. So if you're interested in my work, and if you want to find out how to really get to know yourself through energy, through deep introspective work, by being brave and looking at every aspect of yourself, warts and all of the things that you aren't sure about, that other people respond to, let them. Be good with it in yourself. Self-mastery is another thing, and self-responsibility. If you're interested in that, if you want to be brave, if you are ready to take the next step, to move through your next self-imposed glass ceiling, come and get in touch with me, personal message me now, because I hope you've enjoyed my little live stream today, and I hope that it has opened your eyes up to what we're being fed. It's not really real. Yeah, there's bigger pictures at play here, and there are humanity is really rising. Obviously, there's all sorts of different things that we can do better, and that's what self-knowledge, self-mastery, and self-responsibility is about. Empowering you to be the best version that you can be, so that you can do better in your life, you can do better in your environment and your community, and that can ripple out. So if you're interested, come join me. I will see you again very shortly with my next live stream. See you soon. Bye.